Hi there. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. My name is Brian. I am your queer psychic bestie, and I have a reading for you guys. This is going to be a mid month check in for July for the sign of Virgo. So, if you have Virgo anywhere in your chart, if you vibe with Virgos, you're a cross watcher, whatever the case may be, this reading might be for you. As always, we are going to take what resonates and we are going to leave what does not. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that through email or form submission on my website. All right, a lot of pentacles, Virgo. Not shocking as an earth sign, but this is not a structured spread, okay? This is not a Celtic cross. We are just doing 6 cards. I'm clarifying them 2 at a time. And we are just going to see where the energy takes us. What do you need to know? What's going on? What's showing up? What's blocking you? Etc., etc. All those fun, juicy things. So let's dive in. Bottom of the deck is your challenge. It represents what you're not seeing, what you're not looking at. You've got the 5 of Wands, you've got the High Priestess, and you've got the 2 of Swords. So what I think is really interesting here, Virgo, for you is that your challenge here is that you lack trust in your own intuition and your own feelings. It does kind of feel like for some of you, you've been trying to navigate with your intuition a little bit more. You know, it feels like you've been trying to trust that gut feeling. This is also super random, but what someone needs to get their, this is your left shoulder looked at. I keep getting this like weird pain in my left shoulder. So Virgo, I would definitely, for those of you that are having some shoulder issues, I would go to the doctor for that. That's weird. I don't have shoulder issues. I have a lot of issues from when I was a hairdresser, but the shoulder's not one of them. That's how I know it's for you. But it feels like some of you may be struggling to trust yourself this month or struggling to really tap into that inner knowing, tap into that intuition and that knowledge of like, what's best for me? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? It really does just kind of feel like a lack of trust, with that 9 of Cups is also back there. I feel like specifically for someone here, this is in the area of like, how do I say this? Because I'm hearing overcompensation. You could be overcompensating for the fact that maybe you don't know yourself as well as you want to. I'm not really sure how you're overcompensating. They're not giving that to me. But there is an energy of like, if this is you, you're going to know what I'm talking about, where you're kind of going above and beyond to make up for the fact that maybe you don't know yourself very well. So let's dive in. Let's talk about it. You start with the 8 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles in the reverse. So for a lot of you in the mid-month, it feels like you're working really steadily and really hard on something here. But King of Pentacles in the reverse is like a feeling of I almost said instability. King of Pentacles in the reverse is like, I don't feel very grounded. I don't feel very in control. And I always tell something I tell my clients and my collectives all the time is that the only thing that we can control is ourselves. We can't control other people. We can't control current events. It feels like some of you, now I kind of understand where the overcompensating is coming from, because it feels like because you feel out of control in your own life, you're overcompensating by maybe trying to control a lot of other elements about your life that are not controllable. Other people, your job if you're not a business owner. There's so many mitigating factors in our world. The weather, things like that. Like, I can't control that. It could start downpouring right now. There's nothing I could do about it. And I feel like some of you, it feels almost like you're moving through quicksand right now. Like, things are really slow. Yeah, I feel like it's because some of you need to explore new options. We got the 6 of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the 7 of Cups. So 6 of Pentacles is equal give and take. It's like reciprocity. It tends to also be business transactions. The King of Swords is like overthinking, tends to be quite lawyerly. And then the 7 of Cups is options. So this combo to me, again, it does feel like some of you are It's like, how do I say this? This is kind of rude how my guides want me to give this. As you all know, I used to be a hairdresser. I say that a lot. We talk about that a lot. Because there are a lot of relevant examples like this one. I've worked with hairdressers that have refused to change the way they cut hair since 1980. Times have changed. Techniques have changed. The things people want have changed. But a lot of these older hairdressers would just go at it the same exact way and be like, well, this has worked for me for so long, so I'm just going to keep doing it. And then wondered why they weren't getting people coming back, were wondering why their customers weren't happy, they weren't getting tipped, etc., etc. It feels like, Virgo, I don't mean to call you this, but you're looking a little bit like an old hairdresser right now. It feels like, sorry, I'm eating my own beard. It feels like some of you need to reconcile that you're trying to bring something into the future, a way of being, a way of operating, maybe a way of doing business that is not helping you, okay? It is just not helping you, okay? It reminds me of like back in the day when you look at other psychic mediums such as like Tyler Henry, even the Long Island medium. From what I understand of what these people have said, it was like when they started their businesses, it was just like, oh, I just walked around and gave business cards out, and that was it. That worked back then, but nowadays, if I go house to house in my neighborhood just canvassing and giving people business cards, it's a little weird. Number one, it's not the culture. And number two, it's really not going to help me out. Okay. It feels like some of you guys need to understand that times have changed and you have to change with the times. You can't just expect to keep doing the same haircut and since for 20, 40 years and people still like it. It's just not going to happen. You know, I feel like, I mean, some of y'all have noticed too, for those of you that are into tattoos or tattooed people, like tattoos have changed a lot over the years. You know, it was a lot of traditionalism. Now there's a lot of like line work. I love mandalas. I do a lot of mandala work. You know, like things change, time changes, Virgo. And I feel like you guys need to understand that that's why you're dissatisfied here. I know this is a tough love video, but like you have to be more flexible. You have to adapt. Okay, with that Five of Cups and the Queen of Cups, a lot of you are upset, sitting in your feelings, being like, well, it's a reflection of me. It's not a reflection of the work you're doing. It's a reflection of the fact that you're not keeping up with the times. For whatever reason, for whoever this reading is for, you need to be more flexible, maybe in your work life, maybe in your personal life, whatever this is for you. But it feels like your mid-month is you having to reorient a little bit. Like I said, your intuition seems to be pointing you away from what you're currently doing. And a lot of you are fighting it. A lot of you are like, well, no, what I've done has worked, so I'm going to keep doing it. Eight of Cups, bottom of the deck, babe, it's not working anymore. You have a choice to make here with the Lovers. You have a very big choice to make here, which I do feel like will turn out better for you once you make the choice. Chariot, Ace of Pentacles. Very opposite cards, which is funny. The Chariot is the fastest moving card in the deck, and the Ace of Pentacles is the slowest moving ace in the deck. So it feels like it's almost like if you guys change the way you're looking at your business, going about your business, however this is for you, you're going to see an increase. You're going to like speed up. Things are going to happen a little bit faster for you, okay? Like I said, Ace of Pentacles is a reminder that we don't grow an empire overnight. It's not going to happen like that. But it is also a reminder that it will go faster than what you're doing now, okay? Yeah, the Emperor and the Empress came out together. Okay, Virgo. Really stepping into a very balanced way of being. Really stepping into the divine feminine, the divine masculine, finding that equilibrium inside of yourself, which is crucial. Some of you also may be finding love. Okay, with that King of Wands here as well. King of Wands, Emperor and the Empress is, some of you could be, if you're looking for love, it feels like this mid-month may surprise you. For some of you, it feels like as you get more balanced within yourself, you are going to find someone who is also equally as balanced as you. And it feels like things just sort of fall into place here. Yeah. Queen of Swords, Ace of Wands. But I feel like, Virgo, something else that's being brought up to me right now, which they want me to talk about, is that you're a little bit closed off right now. For whatever reason, Ten of Swords, for whatever is going on here, there's that Nine of Cups again. Like I said, overcompensation. Nine of Cups is usually wish fulfillment and happiness, but in this case, for whatever reason, today it's giving me almost, this is a harsh way to put it, gluttony. I know it's a harsh way. It can be like overconsumption, you know? And so it feels like with that Ten of Swords here and the Nine of Cups, for a lot of you, Nine of Swords is back there as well. It just feels like you're closed off. You know, it's like your gate's closed, the door is locked. It feels like there's so much around you that is looking to go correctly, looking to go the right way, but you're kind of sitting there like this. Virgo, uncross your arms. I don't know who needs to hear that, but you got to uncross your arms. Okay? It feels like some of you are so in your head and so determined that, like, it's not going to work out. And I feel like your guides want you to take a step back and really ask yourself, well, why? Why do I think this? Why do I feel like this? Why am I so determined that nothing is going to go correctly? You know, it feels like this is a very big shift for you in the mid-month, Virgo. Like, the more open you are to change, the more successful it feels like the end of the month is going to be for you. Can I get one more, please, for this pile? Three of Cups. I can't make it up. The more open you are to changing, the better this month is going to look for you, okay? It really does feel like, Virgo, the only thing in your way right now is this really big stubbornness. It's just that, again, I don't mean to keep drilling this in you guys, but, like, you're acting like those hairdressers. You know, you need to, whenever you feel yourself getting into this role of like, no, I don't want to do it. No, I don't want to, you know, a lot of no's. I want you to think about that hairdresser that's been giving everyone mullets the same exact way since the 80s. Now think of yourself and be like, unless you maybe were in the 80s, you favor that hairstyle, but someone that doesn't favor that hairstyle, they want a modern mullet. Are they going to like that 80s mullet? Chances are they're not. Okay? A lot of you need to stop digging your heels into the dirt and just being, oh, this is tough. You're getting tough love today, Virgo. Childish is how I'm hearing it. Like you're being a little bit childish here by just being very stubborn, digging those heels down and being like, no, I'm not going to change. No, I'm not going to move. And I feel like this is to the detriment of yourself. You understand that, but I have to point it out to you, because it's just, it needs to click somehow, okay? Because your last two cards are the Six of Wands and the Seven of Wands. So to go from the 6 to the 7 in a same suit is a positive jump. It shows very obvious growth, movement forward. But Six of Wands to the Seven of Wands is interesting because the Six of Wands is victory and the Seven of Wands is defensiveness. So it feels like as things start going your way here, Virgo, you do have a tendency to kind of put more walls up. You do have a tendency to kind of put more protection around yourself because of this fear of like, well, I'm going to lose it. I want to remind you also that the tighter we hold on to something, the sweatier our grip gets on it. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. A lot of you, this stems from a lack mindset. Yeah, Judgment. A lot of you are in this mode of, I'm going to grip, like my cup, for instance, I'm going to grip this as tight as I can. And then before I know it, I've dropped it. You know, because your grip gets tired, your muscles tire, your palms get hot, they get sweaty. You know, it feels like some of you, yeah, Six of Wands again, you need to understand that the lack mentality is hurting you. The idea that you cannot be abundant, the idea that these things are not meant for you, they're not going to find you, they're not going to be around for you, is keeping you very limited here, okay? It feels like with Judgment especially, it's almost like I hear you guys being like, well, why isn't it happening for me? You know, or like, oh, it did happen. I have to make sure I don't lose it. But again, it feels like some of you need to learn to just loosen the grip just a little bit, just a little bit. You don't have to hold your success in a chokehold to maintain it. Okay. This really does feel like, again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record for some of you. You have to be able to adapt with the times. How do you hold on to success? You hold on to it by moving with it, by changing with it. On the other spectrum of hairdressers that I've worked with hairdressers that have been in the industry for 30, 40, 50 years. And guess what? They go back to the city. They get continued education. They change their techniques. They change their way, and they stay booked and busy. Okay? You need to be able to adapt, Virgo. You have to be able to roll with the punches a little bit more. Sorry, my throat's a little dry. You know, I feel like some of you, you're so literal. You're like, well, this is the same equation that is giving me success, so I'm just going to keep plugging it into the equation, and it should, you know, poop out that successful number for me. And it's like, life is not simple like that. Life is very black and white. This is a very, life is not black and white. This is a very gray area. Okay, you have to be able to shift in the gray area, change your hue, change your tone, change your opacity. Be a little bit more chameleon-like here. Okay? Because right now, just sort of like fighting it, it's not helping you. Yeah, Four of Wands, Knight of Cups. For some of you also, going back to those of you that are going to be finding love, this is funny how this is coming through. If you want love, you have to open your home to it. And you have to open your heart to it. Okay, for a lot of you, it feels like you're asking for love or you're asking for some sort of emotional connection, but then you're not creating space for it. You're not like willing to compromise. You know, I feel like something else that's coming through, again, this is a rough one, Virgo. How do I say that? The way my guides are saying it is that people don't owe you to meet on your doorstep. And I feel like what they mean by this is like, if you want everyone, you know how we always say meet halfway? I feel like, Virgo, you're playing it a little bit below half, and you're expecting everyone to meet you 70% to your 30. I know this is a very harsh reading, Virgo, but I have to give it to you like this. This is not fair. You cannot ask people to give 70% when we're only giving 30. It's true that in a relationship, it's not always 50-50. Sometimes it's 70-30, 60-40, 80-20, depending on what's going on, but it flows. Okay, for a lot of you, I feel like you're lacking flow here. There's just this rigidity of like, well, meet me here or don't meet me at all. You know, the way my guides also want me to say this to you is kind of a little rough. Nobody is going to climb a mountain to meet you at the top. You know, I feel like some of you are just in this place of you have such tunnel vision on and such like, I only see this one last thing that I want, this one goal that I have, and nothing else. Do you see what I mean here when I tell you that you're being rigid? Do you see what I mean when I'm telling you that you're not really changing here? There's not a lot of shift. There's just, well, this is what it is, take it or leave it. Virgo, that's not helping you. Babe, you're shooting yourself in the foot right now. Okay, it's not that people don't want to be around you. It's not that people don't want to work with you. It's not any of these things that you're telling yourselves. It's just that I'm going to be real blunt with this one, and I'm sorry to be the one to deliver it. People don't want to deal with your attitude. I know that's tough. I get it. I understand it because sometimes we don't realize it, but we can be the problem. You know, it's like sometimes, like I always use the example, and I say this all the time. There was a point when I was a barista, when I had been a barista for so long, that I became a bad barista. I was not friendly. I was pretty rude to everyone. I was not good at my job. That's really what it came down to. I was the problem in this scenario. You know, it wasn't that it was anyone else. It wasn't even, maybe it could be as simple as like they forgot to say, "How are you?" They just said hi. And I took it personally and I was vindictive about it. Okay. Sometimes we need to hold ourselves accountable when we are being the problem, because with the 10 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles, it feels like for those of you that have lost friends, lost connections, for whatever reason here, it's due to your own actions. Okay? I know you don't want to see it. I know you don't want to hear it. But you have to start, Virgo. I'm begging you to hold yourself accountable here. Okay? The rigidity, I have no word except for this. This is what I'll show you. This is just how your energy feels to me right now. Is very like, you know, it's almost giving high school mean girl. And I know you are not like that, Virgo. And I know a lot of Virgos, and I know that that's not normal. But sometimes, like I said, for whatever reason, we're run down, we're tired, our heart's not in it anymore. I'm going to tell you, you're a mean barista right now. I know. I really feel like, Virgo, if you can learn to be a little bit more go with the flow, a little bit less rigid here, work on the control issues as well, a little bit less controlling of everything, you're going to find that you have an easier time. Okay? All right, let's get you an oracle card. As always, we are using the Angelarium. I love the Angelarium. I'm obsessed with it. It's my favorite deck. So yeah. Let's get you an oracle. Virgo, mid-month for July, please. Mid-month for July, please, for Virgo. What's the advice, please? Oh, that was fast. Wow. Interesting. You have the Keeper, Rahab. This is his persona after the fall as well, which is interesting. It is number 83 for those of you that are into numerology. Okay. Some things are just out of reach. You can take this card as a sign to accept what has come your way and not worry about what you might be missing. Your domain has many lovely qualities. Spending time appreciating what you have instead of what you've lost will serve you well. As always, Virgo, appreciating what we have is so important, but it will also highlight to you, again, what you need to do, again, to maintain what you have, not to be so rigid, but also not to dwell on the past here, okay? Virgo, that is your mid-month check-in. I will leave that there for you. If this reading resonated with you, if my reading style resonates with you, do consider liking and subscribing. We are on the way to 100 subscribers. Yay! So exciting. If you would like to interact with me on a live basis, you can catch me on Twitch 3 days a week. I do stream tarot readings. We do collectives as well as personals. You can find me there Wednesday and Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. EST, as well as Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. EST. All right, Virgo, until next time, I hope to see you on Twitch, but if I don't, that's okay. I will see you in the next video. Bye.